Okay, did anything like in your younger years, like high school or just growing up, have a positive or negative like contribution on how you like view the world today, or like your songs?
Yeah, I mean,
When she met me.
the negative stuff.
No,
Too easy. Yeah, I definitely think experiences in high school, particularly for me, actually, because I started my professional music career, as it were, in high school. So, I mean, my senior year of school, I was literally like flying back and forth to Nashville from California every weekend. And I remember thinking it was so exciting because I was so ready to get out of high school, you know, that feeling where you're just like, oh, just a few more years or a few more months. Or
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. I was the only one that ever felt that way. But I don't know, just the feeling of isolation, you know, in the midst of juggling, what am I going to do next, and who do I want to be, and who am I going to become, and then, you know, topping that off with kind of a really early music career that was sort of formed for me before I actually knew it. So I definitely think that my high school years played a part in how I saw the world for several years, and then I think hopefully I took the good stuff with me and like kept it in my backpack, so to speak, and then kept walking. And then as I was going along the way, I think the way that I saw the world went from here to here, and I dropped off several things out of my backpack that I had kept with me for a long time too. And I think, like John Paul mentioned, you know, what you experience in your life has a direct correlation with the art that you make, or at least in my opinion. It's good to, you know, because it comes from you, and that's the thing that I think makes art individual and unique, is when you put your own stamp to it, and you don't worry about trying to sound or look like someone else, or trying to fit in this particular box that you really want to be in. But learning how to embrace who you are and celebrate that, I think I was on that journey in high school, and that's something that I think I keep experiencing now, and know more about myself now than I did then. But it's all steps. It's all good steps.
I had a specific teacher back home, and I grew up in Loretta, Tennessee, is where I went to school, and it's very conservative, small town, very backwoods, and dearly love the place, but it's not typically not the type to really push you creatively and have you think outside the box and outside of yourself. But I had a English professor, a creative writing professor, Miss Layton, and she never let me settle. She always was pushing, and I would bring her lyrics to songs, and at the time I was really into metal, and I'd bring her these lyrics, and if I read them now, it would be terrifying.
Would they be like dwarves and...
No, but they would be highly depressive.
Oh.
How dark my soul was, and how no one understood.
It's true.
Yeah.
It happened.
Just like, yeah, I'm sure everyone else. But I'd be just as verbose as possible. I'd try to push her back. Like, I wanted to repel her. I wanted her to read it and be like offended. I wanted her to be like, wow, this is out of my league, and you know. But it never failed. I mean, she'd come back with, this is good, this is kind of safe, this is kind of watered down. It was just
That's cool.
Completely out. And it was just one-on-one, she and I, because she reached out to me, I reached out to her, and I definitely didn't fit in with the rest of the class in that way. She pushed me to read Faulkner. She pushed me to read a lot of beat poet stuff, and so yeah, I have her to thank for a lot, which is pretty evident that, you know, if I were in here, this guy I'd probably be talking about him one of these days. So this is a good thing. Don't take it for granted, because it's very, very, and don't take for granted what you're doing for them either, because every day I reap rewards of that relationship I had with her. So it's important, and that's why we're here, because it's important to us.
Mhm.